Pamela, and you're watching Soul Kisses TV. And today I'm sitting with Mr. Brandon Frame of The Black Man Can. Oh, hi, Brandon.
Hello, how are you?
I'm excited. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Hold on, let me catch my breath. 'Cause right now I can't believe this moment is finally here. Don't speak, won't you just feel with me and enjoy and knowing that you.
Let's do happy dance. Ooh, ooh. I love it. I love it. Who's the man, Brandon Frame?
Renaissance man with a social conscience who is fearlessly rebuilding and manifesting empowerment. One of the models I live by is building minds forever. So everything that I do, anything that I create is all about in regards to building minds forever.
So why is that so important to you? I mean, because I won't say that a lot of the world doesn't think that way, but you don't come across people every day that say, I want to really devote my life to empowering the minds of everyone I meet. So where did you get that from?
Well, first it's part of the acronym for my name, BMF, so Building
Oh.
Minds Forever. And
That's
part
smart.
of it. But at the same time, I just working with youth education, dealing with my friends, just people. I just always want to be around people who just want to continually learn and do more, and just being able to provide them an outlet to do that in whatever aspect that may be.
Okay, now keep it real. When you were in high school, were you thinking that, like, oh man, I want to give back to the kids when I grow up?
I want to be a sports broadcaster. Actually, my goal was to get on ESPN and do sports broadcasting. That was definitely what I thought I really wanted to do. And more so, did not happen. I didn't go down that road simply because I actually attended Morehouse College, and that wasn't a major that they actually offered.
Okay.
So I had to pick something different. By going to Morehouse, different things that happened to me, I realized what my passion and purpose was.
And what is your passion and purpose?
I define myself so I can redefine the world, and passion for education, youth development, and just doing whatever I can to make an impact in somebody else's life, as well as move forward in mine. One thing that I say, I have my own hashtag that I use, and it's Teach One, Teach 100. And so that's kind of what it comes down to. That's my passion in life, to each one, teach 100. So if I help one person, hopefully they help another person, and both of you get to 100, and then that's another 100, another 100. We have thousands, we have millions, and make a difference.
What's the one or most memorable takeaway that you experienced at your time with Morehouse?
I really understood what I'm capable of in the world as a black man. I think that going to a school that is designed specifically for me as a black man is what catapulted me to be able to do the things that I'm doing now. I walk in the footsteps of giants, the ones that came before me, whether it's Edward Moses or Martin Luther King or Benjamin Elijah Mays, who was the 6th president of Morehouse College, right? All these different guys who embody what it means to be a part of the Morehouse mystique.
What does it mean to be a black man in America?
A quote that I live by, I had a piece of artwork made around it. In a way, what it means to be a black man in America is to be so reminded of Martin and Malcolm, yet so inspired to sketch your own path. So I think about, those two things that they went through, the accomplishments, the flaws. There's lots of stuff out there, but then you take that and you thus create your own path.
Do you think that, young boys have good role models now?
That's one reason why I've created some of the things that I've created. There's lots of role models out there, but we have to put them in front of the young men. Because of what we consume through media, individuals fall into a place of being a role model or some person that a young boy may look up to. And so, but it's incumbent upon us to thus put those that can feel and touch right there in front of them and show them what's possible.
have you ever met a boy that has never tied a tie before during all your outreach?
Absolutely. Learning how to tie a tie is one of those first serious steps in life for a young man. It's like a mantle passing. It's a growth period. When you learn how to tie a tie, you feel like you've made one step in the right direction in terms of, just growing up. And so we meet young men all the time from all various social economic statuses that don't know how to tie a tie. And so we, really take pride in teaching all these young men how to tie double Windsor knots. And I think we would institute knowing how to tie a tie.
So with your basic double Windsor knot, what you would like to do is you want the short end to be about halfway down your chest. So we're going to take the short one across, make an X. We're going to take the long end, go under, and pull it through. You want to pull it a little tight. You want to take your right hand and hold the knot all together. All right. Then you're going to switch and take your left hand and pull it out. You're going to wag it in the air just so I know you're where I'm at. Then you're going to take it and you're going to go under and across. All right, pull it out. All right, and then you're going to loop it through the middle and pull it back the same way. So if you look very closely, you're actually what the concept of a double Windsor knot is. So you have a knot on both sides. All right. Then you're going to take the long end. You're going to droop it over your hand this way. Hold the knot with your left hand. Take the long end, go up and under. You're going to have a little hole here. You're going to slide through. Got your little triangle. Double Windsor.
What are some of the things you've created?
I used to own a bow tie and tie company.
Oh, you did?
Final Frame. Earlier this year, I launched this new initiative called Power Couple Brunch. But the main thing, Black Man Can Institute, which is a one-day mentoring institute that travels around the country. It's just one day of really empowering young men and bringing grown Black men into the fold to mentor the young men for a day. Each institute is always pulled off by the fact that we have lots of volunteers. It counteracts the myth or the notion or even the stereotype that Black men don't want to give back, or they're not giving back, or they're not giving time to work with our young men.
How does it feel when you hear people talk about, Black men ain't nothing?
It's sad, and sometimes there's truth to everything that people say. Like, there's nothing that's like, oh, that's just not true. Are there people who are like that? Yeah, but I think to group a whole group of people into that is the issue. And I think sometimes as people of color, that's what we face, that when Jamal does something, that's all Black men. But when Johnny does something, that's just Johnny.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we fall into that. People fall into that with people of color. It's like when one does it, they're all like that. Even when we're in a position of hiring, and sometimes as a Black person, you wonder if people are going to think, well, you only hired that person for a Black person. White people aren't thinking about, nobody's gonna ask them, well, you hired that person because they're white because you're white. Like, they don't, you know what I'm saying? There's just certain things they don't even have to think about. And so I think sometimes we all get wrapped into those things and we should kind of let them go.
How do you think that we can influence or change the messages that young Black men are receiving? Where do they go?
Black Man Can Institute.
Okay.
If we come to your city,
Yes.
that is, and it's free. I think as a parent, you have to build that cultural capital by any means necessary. So if that means taking your child to a museum, if that means taking your child to different plays, that means taking your child to a mentoring program that's put on by some organization, or making sure they get involved in different things that allow for those things to be built as well. And then if you put them in these different programs and take them to these different places, you also must make sure that that's reinforced.
See it, people should know how amazing Black men are, and I want to know what do we do?
We have a media platform, and so through this media platform, I've highlighted well over 300 guys since the Black Man Can has come into play. We've highlighted different organizations, and I would say we just continue to do just that because I think there's so many out there. And one reason the Black Man Can, and we also have the Black Man Can Awards, which is an online social media award show.
I'm really curious about how you changed, how you got those impressions for your thinking. Was it your parents? Was it church?
I think my mom laid a very strong foundation. I come from a single parent household. I met my dad when I was 18. Me and my dad have a wonderful relationship now. But I met my dad when I was 18, so my mom, my grandmother, my grandfather played a very vital role in my development as a child, and I think they laid the foundation. And one thing I have a little happy folder.
Oh, you
And
do? Oh, is it like,
folder.
is there a sunflower on it?
No, it's plain, but I call it the happy folder. But in there I have letters. I have emails from people who have read stuff on the Black Man Can, or thank you letters from people saying thank you for highlighting me, or thank you letters from mom saying my son came to your institute and he definitely helped and it's changed him a little bit. So I keep that as a reminder when I get to a point where I'm asking myself, what is this all about?
Not giving up and being persistent. Is that something that you teach kids?
Absolutely. It's one of the most important factors of an institute, and just kind of pressing that on young men throughout the day and youth period. I mean, all the work that I do is really important to press upon that you can't really get wrapped up in immediate gratification, and definitely in today's society, young people period, really, with social media, everything, internet, you want everything right away. And you don't want to buy, you want to buy something you want the next day. You want success the next day.
Yes.
But what separates the successful people from the unsuccessful people are the people who are willing to put in the work.
Now that I know that you grew up in a single family household, you talk about being responsible fathers in your workshops.
Absolutely. We have some workshops on that, and then we also have the Black Man Can Journal. The name of the journal is Define Yourself, Redefine the World, a guided journal for Black men and boys. And in that, one of the chapters is around fatherhood and really getting young men to start thinking about what that looks like, whether they had one or they didn't have one, along with a host of other sections. But that's really important. And the journal is even created from a place where, as a young boy, I didn't grow up with my father. And so, but when I met him, I had no anger or disdain for him, because when I was younger, I journaled. That's even the impetus for the journal, is because I think that I was able to process emotions, I was able to develop critical consciousness and develop positive self-identity for myself through journaling. And so I wanted to create a tool that would allow young men to be able to do the same things, so that hopefully they won't walk around as angry, or they won't be able, they'll just see themselves in a different light by being able to do some written reflection with themselves, and that will guide them on the right path.
What does it mean to be a good father?
To be consistent. I think there's a lot of different words you can go into a bunch of words, but at the end of the day, as a man, when it comes to your children, when it comes to your wife, you need to be consistent. I think if you consistently deliver on love, appreciation, and support 24/7, all three simultaneously, you will have a wonderful family.
It comes across sometimes that, it's not cool to express yourself. It's not cool to show that you love and to be tender and soft.
Yes.
And so why is that, and how does a man give love?
We with Brandon, Mr. He-Motions. We ain't gonna really deep dive into this, but I think that what you're talking about is this word of vulnerability. And man or woman, in order to fully allow yourself to experience a love that you never knew could exist, you have to be vulnerable. You have to put both arms on your chest, fall backwards, in the hope that person is gonna catch you. It's a maturity thing, right? You have to get to this very mature point where this woman has already allowed herself to be vulnerable with you, and she has consistently shown that you can be vulnerable with her, but you have to be mature enough to identify that her actions are showing you that you can be vulnerable with her. Because if you ask any man that's married, so how did you know? They're gonna say, you just know. How about a young man maybe try to identify that feeling and then be able to act on it? I think that is an approach that we can take.
When you meet your maker at the end of your life, or as you say, when you cash in your ticket, what do you want your legacy to be?
That I was a man of character. I was a man who would do anything for anybody who wanted to do anything in life.
Paint a picture.
So the name of the artwork is called He Ain't Heavy.
He Ain't Heavy.
Right, and what the artwork depicts is a man on the roof, and he's reaching down, and there's a hand coming out of the bottom of the painting, reaching up. So I want to be known as my legacy would be similar to that artwork on both ends, where if I had the opportunity to be the man on the roof, I was reaching down for anybody who had their hand up, but I was also a person who saw out different things. I had my hand up, always looking to progress and do better. And I guess, if anything, if I get to a point where I'm always going to be the man on the roof, and there's always going to be a point where you're not the person on the roof, you're the person reaching out. It goes back to that concept of building minds forever.
Any last thoughts about, you know, what's going on with the Black Man Can and how we can be of support of Brandon?
Well, we need ties, so please, you know, if you want to send ties to the Black Man Can, because we need to teach these young boys how to tie ties. If anybody wants to take part in workshops, like I said, you can go to the website, www.theblackmancan.org, and you can get to the institute, you can get to the awards and whatnot, and really just come to the website, check out some of the stories, and share them. Put them on Facebook. Drive traffic to the site. Drive traffic to a positive Black male image.
That's a little boy or a teenage boy. What would you tell him right now? A Black boy.
You are destined for greatness. You are destined for greatness if you pursue excellence with impeccable effort.
Thank you so much for being here.
All right, thank you for having me.
Of course, you guys. Soul Kisses TV, the Black
Soul
Man
Kisses TV, Black Man
Can.
Can.
Brandon Fame. Bye, guys.